When your mortal enemy captures the championship you had to give up because your shoulder exploded, you're either handling it with zen-like acceptance, or you're at home throwing things at the television while questioning every life decision that led to this moment. Seth Rollins allegedly melting down in tears watching CM Punk win his title at Saturday night's main event sounds like the kind of emotional devastation that would make for incredible television. Except for one tiny problem. There's absolutely zero evidence this actually happened beyond a clickbait headline designed to exploit your emotions for views. But what is devastatingly real is Seth's injury, his forced title vacation, and the heartbreaking reality of watching your championship plans crumble while you're stuck on the sidelines. Let's establish the facts before we dive into speculation about Seth's emotional state, because separating reality from manufactured drama matters when we're discussing real people dealing with career-altering injuries. Seth Rollins is currently recovering after undergoing surgery for a legitimate broken shoulder that he sustained last month at Crown Jewel. This wasn't a worked injury or storyline angle. This was actual physical damage that required surgical intervention and comes with a lengthy recovery timeline that's keeping him away from the ring for months. If things hadn't gone catastrophically wrong during his match at Crown Jewel, Seth Rollins would have been defending the World Heavyweight Championship at Saturday night's main event. That was the plan. That was the trajectory his storyline was heading, and it would have been a marquee match on a premium special event. Instead, the architect had to vacate the championship he worked so hard to win, opening the door for CM Punk to capture the gold by defeating Jey Uso in the tournament final. Now here's where that sensational headline wants you to believe Seth was at home crying into his limited edition Chicago Bears jersey while watching his bitter rival CM Punk hold the championship he was forced to relinquish. Did that happen? There's zero evidence to support it. Seth hasn't posted any emotional breakdowns on social media. There haven't been reports from friends or family about his mental state. The entire melting down in tears narrative appears to be complete fiction designed to generate sympathy clicks. What Seth Rollins actually did on social media recently was far less traumatic, but way more on brand for the man who bleeds Chicago sports loyalty. A few hours after Saturday night's main event, Seth took to Instagram Threads where he reacted to the Chicago Bears' latest win in the NFL. That's right, while everyone assumed he was devastated about Punk winning his title, Seth was apparently more focused on celebrating his favorite football team's victory. That's either incredible emotional compartmentalization or proof that maybe he's handling this injury setback better than dramatic headlines want you to believe. Seth's involvement with football goes deeper than just being a passionate fan screaming at his television every Sunday. He's a panelist on the NFL Network's Good Morning Football, where he regularly appears to analyze games, discuss league developments, and bring his wrestling personality to sports commentary. It's a perfect side gig for someone who's stuck recovering from surgery and can't perform his main job, giving him purpose and creative outlet while his body heals. But let's talk about what Seth Rollins has actually lost because of this injury, because the reality is devastating enough without inventing emotional breakdowns. WWE had major plans for the architect before his shoulder betrayed him at Crown Jewel. According to backstage reports from veteran journalist Bill Epter on Sportskeeda's The Wrestling Flame Machine, Seth Rollins was supposed to be embroiled in a heated feud with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, with the World Heavyweight Championship at stake. That storyline had all the ingredients for incredible television. Seth as the cerebral veteran champion defending against two young, hungry monsters who represented the future of WWE. The Vision storyline with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker turning on Seth was building towards something significant, a multi-month program that would have elevated everyone involved and given Raw some of its best main event content heading into the end-of-year premium live events. Instead, all those carefully constructed plans went into the trash bin the moment Seth's shoulder gave out. WWE had to pivot immediately, scramble to create a new tournament for the vacant championship, and figure out how to keep the Vision storyline relevant without their original centerpiece. That's not just frustrating for Seth personally, it's a massive creative disruption that affects dozens of people's storylines and plans. The recovery timeline is particularly brutal when you look at what Seth is missing. As things currently stand, only a miraculous recovery would allow Rollins to return in time for marquee premium live events like Survivor Series or Royal Rumble. Those are the kinds of shows where main eventers build momentum heading into WrestleMania season. And Seth is going to be watching from home while his peers compete in featured positions. Even his WrestleMania 42 plans are completely up in the air, since he could be out of action for 6 months. 6 months in wrestling time is an eternity where entire storylines begin and end. New stars are created, and the landscape shifts dramatically. Seth missing that much time means missing the entire road to WrestleMania, potentially missing WrestleMania itself depending on his recovery, and having to rebuild whatever momentum he had when he eventually returns. The message Seth posted about losing years of his life, which is referenced in one of the article headlines, provides fascinating context for understanding his mindset during this recovery. That's not just about the physical injury and time away from the ring, it's about all the potential moments, matches, and championship reigns that evaporate when your body breaks down at the worst possible time. Every day spent recovering is a day not creating memories, not entertaining fans, and not building the legacy he's worked his entire career to establish. You have to live with that. The intensity of this recovery will be knee-dropping, but Rollins is known for his work ethic and the ability to fight through and overcome the hardest of adversity.